Welcome to series number 2 of our manifestation series. And today, Jen and I are going to be talking about manifesting with the moon, which just falls perfectly with the full moon in Scorpio today, which is so perfect because this full moon is actually bringing up a lot of emotions for a lot of people. So it's such a great conversation. But one of the reasons Jen and I love talking about the moon and manifestation between the full moon and the new moon is because we talk about this in planning by design all the time, right? We're big advocates for syncing our energy cycles, and we sync them with our menstruation cycle, with the moon, with our energy, with astrology. And so there's so many ways, but today is specifically to talk about the moon. So welcome, Jen. So glad to see you here.
Hello, happy full moon day.
Happy full moon. So for me, typically, we've had this conversation too. Remember when we first started planning by design, we started realizing there was a hierarchy actually of energies, and my hierarchy of energies was different than yours, which was always so cool to talk about. And for me, the full moon was always a time of high energy and excitement and growth and a period of shedding and releasing like old energies and bringing in new energies. But we want to talk a little bit deeper today about why we actually follow these cycles and how, for me, as I followed these cycles more intuitively over this past year, how that's actually shifted.
Yeah, and I think the really cool part is all the manifestation with it too, right? How does it build? How does aligning not only all of your energy cycles, right? All the different hierarchies that we talk about within planning by design, but specifically the moon. Because even if you don't have a lot of reflector aspects like I do, where it's really important for me to work with the moon, you still can work with the moon and utilize its energies to manifest. It's just knowing yourself and how you manifest that makes it all happen.
Right, that's right. And the full moon, basically a lot of people say the full moon is about releasing, right? Releasing and shedding old patterns and allowing space for the new pieces to come in. And the new moon is more about sort of like planting those seeds and dreaming up big and creating the manifestation. But I do believe that we're manifesting all the time, right? And it doesn't mean that just because it's a full moon, oh, I can't manifest, right? It's just a part of that process. But what this is looking at is like, how can I look at the things that have been blocking me, holding me back? Where is the fear or the unsureness or whatever stuck in our body? And how can we sort of get rid of that in order to really call in our manifestations?
Yeah, I really think of the new moon as the start of a cycle, right? You're setting your intentions, you're sitting in that darkness. But the full moon is really a time to look back, to reflect what is still in my way, what is holding me back from manifesting that. Either, well, both. You're going to look at the new moon, right? We just had the new moon in Taurus. We're in Taurus season. So looking back on the intentions that you set at the start of Taurus season in the middle end of April, and what is still in your way? What do you need to release, to let go of so that you can fully manifest and bring into your reality until the new moon in Gemini, which is happening in the beginning of June, June 11th. But then we can also step back on the annual scale and look back to the new moon in Scorpio, the intentions that you set back in October when that new moon was, and see what is still stuck. Have you reached those manifestations? Like, celebrate yourself. That's amazing if you have. But if you haven't over these 6 months, right, that was just at the end of eclipse season. So some crazy things might have been going on for you back in October. But what is still in your way? What can you really set the intention to release with this full moon so that by the time October comes, right, next eclipse season, you are ready for that utter full transformation that will be pushed through.
Ooh, I love that. And as someone who's not a big journaler, the two times that I really journal, like basically every 2 weeks, is the full moon and the new moon, and the full moon and the new moon, because it does give me that ability to go back and reflect on what I was thinking or doing and kind of dig into like, okay, so if that hasn't manifested yet, then there's something here. Either I truly don't want that, or there's something that is actually holding me back from reaching that. And so, what is it? And so, it gives you those little clues into what you're creating and how you're showing up. And it's kind of fun to look back and be like, oh, look at that. These three things, like I can check them off the list. They've been manifested. Like, how exciting is that?
Yeah, it's really fun to celebrate and also, just sit with some compassion to be like, man, I'm not there yet. I need to really look and see, consciously be aware of what are the hurdles, what is in my way so that, I can take aligned next steps and
Right.
feel through the feels. Like we haven't even started talking about the feelings yet, especially with this Scorpio moon.
That's right, exactly. But I do want to say, like, one of the reasons we track this is because there's different times in your energy cycle between the new moon and the full moon, between your menstrual cycle as a female, between your energy in human design, as to how you show up in your life and your business. And so, one of the things we do in Planning by Design is we have these amazing worksheets and workbooks and it tells you exactly what you should be doing during these moon cycles and how to support you in creating within your energy and then helping you learn how to reflect back on these in a way that's aligned for you versus like these are the five things you should be doing. It's really leaning into what you should be doing that's in alignment for who you are, which is what I love.
Right, because even though this is the full moon in Scorpio, right? You and I both, Mistral, are doing full moon things. We're releasing things. We're honoring our big feels, the water element that Scorpio has, the fluid emotions, that emotional intensity, what might be brought to the surface, right? What deep, dark depths in our psyche, in our shadows might we need to enter to move through. But you and I are opposites, right? As a manifesting generator, like you are just charged up, you're ready to go, you're starting newness. And me, projector over here, I got my period yesterday that loves to come with the full moon, that loves to be aligned, just to be like, you ready to release? Because we're going to start early. My period usually comes on the Scorpio moon, which is tomorrow, but it decided to come yesterday because it was like, nope, this Scorpio moon is so powerful. You need to be bleeding with this full moon, and we're going to set you up to bleed next full moon too. So, that's where the hierarchy of my energy cycles are working together to be like, you are down and out. Not only do you just need to rest, you need to fully clear your schedule and rest. And let me tell you, I did nothing yesterday, and I have very light things on my plate today and tomorrow.
Yeah, and how beautiful. Like if you didn't follow this or understand this about yourself and your energy, you wouldn't follow this. And because society pressures us just to have this normal 9 to 5 workday, you wouldn't understand how to actually schedule yourself around that. And there may be people here listening who are just like, well, I can't because I have this 9 to 5. But really, you can because you can be looking into your next month knowing if you're tracking these energy cycles, knowing, okay, this is a week when I want to have a lower work week, or I want to have less on my plate for this week. And how can I schedule that? Or where can I give other things or delegate other pieces so they're not my responsibility?
Yeah, and I mean, that is my whole movement that there is another way. I don't want your excuses because you can do it and you likely need to do it, and you're not feeling great because you're not doing it for yourself. But to bring us back to where we are now, this is why it's so important to come into planning by design, right? Because chances are you are building awareness. You may not know this about yourself yet, you may not be there yet. And that's why we've created these worksheets within our planning design workbook that guide you along the way. So every week, every month, you are looking at these worksheets, seeing where you are energetically, seeing where you are within your menstrual cycle, seeing where the moon is, seeing astrology house that you're in. I'm missing one. What's the other flow that we have in there? Emotional,
Menstrual, moon, emotional, oh, the emotional
emotional chart.
wave. Yep.
Yep. That's the other one. So that you can start being aware of these to work with it, right? Work smarter, not harder, because bringing your energy to your conscious awareness will change your life. You're going to leave that 9 to 5 job because it does not support you, right? You need to work in your own way, or maybe it does support you and you love it. And then you start even thriving more within that container. So within Planning by Design, we help you bring all of this to your conscious awareness and work with it so you can have wild success in your personal life and your business life.
Perfect.
really is amazing. And then to top that off, we have our pop-up speaker tomorrow, right? Calandra Martin coming in to talk about branding so that you can creatively align with your business and not burn out, which like, don't we all need?
Yes, we all need that, especially as women who have energetic cycles that are 28 days or 26 days or whatever your cycle is, and not just repeating every day like a man. And that's really important to understand because society was built for men, our traditional jobs, traditional work. And this is where learning to flow with your cycle and understanding yourself allows you to show up just fully potent at all times. And when you're not feeling fully potent, you know exactly how to support yourself best.
Yeah. And it's so great. And it's beautiful to celebrate all the women doing their own thing, right? When you're not in it, to not push it, to not grind, right? For so many years, that's what I did. I would be like, oh, I have my period. Well, I better gear up and, take some meds and go, be output and do, which no wonder like I just crashed. And maybe that's why I'm on this cycle of like the release of full moon where I just can't do anything because I pushed for so many years.
Yeah, and how to look back on that and kind of go like, there is a better way, and now I'm doing it, and now I know it, and we just want more women to understand that about themselves.
Scorpio, it's that water element. It is a Scorpio for a reason. That stinger can sting. So definitely mindful of your communication and words, that you are not being emotionally reactive and lashing out, because some deep wounds are going to come up. Especially this full moon is opposite Uranus. Like things are going to crumble, right? Things are kind of already crumbling, and they need to crumble. Whatever that may be within you, to really let that go, to release it. Likely this week, you have been pushed towards another way, a new path, and everything that's in your way of that path is going to start crumbling and letting it go. So it's really up to you how you want to choose to respond to it. Are you going to cling to control and try to hold on, out of fear, out of loss, anything like that? Or are you going to embrace the change, let that all go away so that you can pursue this new path? And it's really, really
Mhm.
cool to see everybody navigating it.
Yeah, yeah, and I know Inside Planning by Design, we'll be talking a lot about this tomorrow, especially with Calandra as our guest speaker, which is really exciting.
Yes, it is so exciting, and I can't wait. Yeah, for tomorrow and just this month inside Planning by Design. It's a really great month to be in this membership.